Yeah, welcome to the casebook in April 2018. Actually, this is a pretty big case, but I'm not going to talk much about it. Um, Thanks again to Master Dental Technician Gianluigi Milizza. And this case is mostly about the new Tria scanner, which we bought in November. And I just want to show you a few pitfalls, and I think it's a fantastic scanner. But as I said, there are few things which are not just perfect yet. Good, the case is looks awful and very difficult, but it's actually not. The patient running around like this for over 30 years, a deep bite, and it normally looks like a very difficult case, but actually if you check the gums and the periodontal situation is pretty good. And there's only a difference between the two centrals and sizes, and if you adjust that a little bit, basically the case can look alright. So what we always do, we take a picture of our patients, take an impression of the upper and lower jaw, and do either a conventional wax up or digital wax up, and then do the preparation, impression, and the bite, and then in this case a weekend later the entire restoration is finished. So this is just conventionally wax up pressed lithium disilicate. So a pretty straightforward case, of course, still for the technician, something around 20 to 25 hours work. So thanks again to Gianluigi, brilliant work in brilliant time. So, and here you can see the final work. Sorry, the crown on the upper jaw left, or here in the picture on the right, slipped a little bit, but the work's absolutely perfect. All margins are good. The aesthetics are good, as you'll see in a second. Bites are right. And sorry, I took a few pictures a little bit too quickly. So you see some crowns being slipped off the prepared posts. So sorry for that. And then the work on the day we placed it. What you can see, we adjust a little bit the gum situation of the central incisors to make it look more symmetrical, but the patient obviously was extremely happy with that work, as she had natural normal teeth in next to no time. Overall, the case, we just needed 2 weeks for it, for the preparation, from preparation to finish. Of course, we did some root canal treatments before, and dental hygiene, of course, is a precondition for such a case. But now what I want to show you is, that's the picture smiling patient, really happy. But that's actually not what I want to show you. I want to show you how we use in the new trial scanner. And it's going to be a video of approximately 10 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly start that now. And it's actually a video from a mobile phone. So forgive the maybe a little bit imperfect quality. The scanner has the video files on the computer, but we haven't found out just yet how to extract them. So usually the scanner asks you to start in the lower jaw. You can see here it can go pretty quickly, especially when the scanner has some areas which are overlapping or with clear structures, clear cuts. But here you can see the first thing, the scanner is getting stuck, because in the lower front the teeth always look very alike for the scanner, and if you don't have the right angle, sometimes he can't see or find overlapping areas properly. So we just deleted the scan and started new, making sure the scanner has enough data to really have overlapping areas to stitch the pictures together. In the upper left, you see how many pictures he's taken. So approximately something between 5 and 10 pictures per second. In this case, we've been a little bit smarter, went more to the lingual side to get more tooth surface, and went really slow. But even by doing that, you see the red frame indicates that he missed some areas and couldn't find a merger. So we had to go back and then rescan. So you see the lower front is quite difficult sometimes if you have very highly polished surfaces and not really rough edges or corner. The computer finds, or the program finds, traceable. So in the lower left, we've taken out a tooth at the same time as well. So digital dentistry really enables you to do a lot of things at the same time. In this case, we scan the occlusal part. That's how it's recommended. Then go to lingual part again. And if you want, you can actually scan whatever you want, as long as the computer can has overlapping areas, either in color or in shape, and can stitch them together in real time. So in the upper lower left, you see we've taken something around 750 pictures now, and this area is really important that you really get a proper scan from the buccal side, because that's needed later on to verify the bite. And you'll see I did it quite nicely, I thought, but still, because of the really shiny surface, the program had problems to find the areas in the bite scan. But we'll come to that later. But you see, it's actually quite nice scan. This true HD colors. The machine is exceptionally fast. But of course, we hope that with the next computer generation, the machines will even get faster, and that the few programming flaws it still has are eradicated. So you can see, lower jaw is nearly done. That took around 3 minutes. So there's advertisements saying it takes something around 20 to 30 seconds. That is true if you really have a natural jaw and not so shiny surfaces. And problematic as well, the batteries are quite small, and for every scan the scanner needs to warm up, so that can take up to 1 to even 3 minutes. So you can scan even without waiting, but of course it's better to have the scanner really warm to guarantee the accuracy of the scan. Lower jaw is always more difficult. You really need a good nurse to have to pull the tongue away. And upper jaw is pretty simple, because you have a lot of structures like the rugae palatine or other anatomical structures, teeth, which the scanner easily finds and easily can relate to and merge. So in this case, we've taken out a tooth in the upper jaw left as well. So it's still healing. But these are all structures the computer easily finds again. And one thing which is interesting as well for these scanners, the scanner can only scan areas where the light which goes out is reflected back into the scanner head. Otherwise, it's not a real chance to scan these areas. So really big undercuts or something like this, like here, for example, the first molars, is not possible for the scanner to scan. So again, very important, the outside. Scan that properly. And if you have a look in the top left corner, we're something around 870 pictures now. The scan has an allowance of approximately 1,500 scans. So when it comes to that, it will get slower, and the maximum is around 2,000 pictures. So another thing with the scanner is gold surfaces are really problematic to scan. He can scan it, but you very often have unscannable areas if they're really too highly polished, because the reflection for the scanner somehow it does not work. But as we go more full ceramic anyway, that shouldn't be a problem anymore, like in 5 to 10 years. So you see, we're finalizing the upper jaw scan, something around 3 minutes again. So every area scanned. Actually, I forgot to tell you the reason why we scan why we do a post-placement scan. First reason in this case was we wanted to produce a Michigan splint, and for our laboratories, of course, absolutely fantastic. If they get a digital scan, we can then feed that scan to the computer and immediately start designing. And the other reason being is, of course, whenever a crown cracks, we know the outline of the crown already, and then can just reproduce the crown with the shape the patient already had. So in this case I wanted to really perfect. The scan was alright already, but you can see a small problem on the upper left canine, which was then taken care of. You can see always when the scanner doesn't have really good edges or just very round surfaces, he can't really relate to that scan, so he always needs really clear points. So far, maybe the company 3Shape will be able to improve that in the future. You can see here the small incongruency between the teeth, and you need to rescan that now. And you see it takes some time. If you scan, never look on the big screen, always have a look at the small picture, because that shows you exactly the areas which you can scan or actually at the moment are scanning well. For example, this area, I wasn't happy with the scan, so that's very simple. You just, like a rubber, you can just remove that area and then rescan that area. So actually the program is pretty simple. And then you just rescan the area and to make really sure that your splint is really fitting well. It's very good for legal purposes as well. You can really produce a 3D model of your final work at any given time. So you see now the surfaces are all the same color. And in this case, what I told you, I warned you, when we come to 1500 pictures, then the scanner starts to get slower as the volume of the data becomes too large. A file upper jaw and lower jaw scan is always something around between, I hope I'm not telling you that wrongly now, but I think a file is something between 40 and 80 megabyte, 80 being already very big. So in our case, we have our own lab. We send those files just downstairs to our lab and have the technician producing our work. So I really took a long time. I just really want to make sure the scan's nice, and like I said, show you a few flaws as well. But I think in a second that should be all right. Good. Yeah, I was very ambitious getting that corner right, but you can see the machine, even with a rescan, the machine still struggles. And you need to find the point, and the machine suggests to you where you should go back to in order to find that scan. You see this canine first premolar area is really quite difficult for the machine somehow. Two round surfaces. So I have to rescan that area again. So this is actually a case where a lot of things went wrong. That's why I'm showing that to you as well. Normally it goes a little bit quicker, and but these, I just wanted to show you a case where not everything went absolutely perfect and smooth, because from these cases you actually learn the most. So I think we've done that now, and now the last step is taking the bite. You can see in the machine how small the battery is. With the scanner comes a pack of 3 batteries, but after one scan the battery is done. So yeah, then we just check for the bite. Normally, if you have really a dentition with 28 teeth, it should never be a problem, but you see in this case somehow the scanner didn't have a good day, so and couldn't find the bite really properly. You can continue to scan until he finds it, or you just interrupt and you have to get the bite done then manually, what we did in this case for the right side. So you just take 2 teeth, 2 corresponding teeth, make sure you got the right ones. In this case, lower first molar, and then he normally finds it and then adjusts it the bite by itself. So the software has actually evolved quite well, and in this case, the left side, I think we got it right with the bite, and it found the bite automatically. The bite is quite accurate, and has given us good results. The scan itself is quite accurate as well, something between 10 and 50 microns at most. And the models you get nowadays with 3D printer, you can have an accuracy up to 16 microns. So it's actually quite good nowadays and comparable to conventional impressions. You can see here that's a final model. I'm just playing around a little bit to impress maybe a little bit you and of course the patient. And you always just check the bite to make sure that the bite's right. The way you do it is you just put the impression on its head and have a look for these white areas, and then you're sure you got the bite more or less right. This was exactly on the day of our placement. So, and the patient still had a lot of injections. So I always adjust the bite again when the patient comes back after 2 weeks, when the injection is worn off and the patient got used to the work. Good. And then a couple of days later, this is a mill splint, so it's not like the old school orthodontic way of doing splints. So you just have it designed on the computer and mill it. And this is just a protection for the denture, for the restoration then. So thank you very much for watching again, and yeah, hope you all have a nice week. Thanks. Bye bye.